If you are looking for an efficient way to control your expenses and keep your finances in order, you are in the right place. In this video, I will show step by step how to do a personal budget control in Notion. Hello, I am Tatiana and welcome to Organize with Notion. Many people use Notion to control expenses and have a clear view of their spending. There are already some videos on the subject on the channel, but with the update of the Notion formulas, it has become much easier to monitor your spending. In this video, we will register our expenses, classify them, and set a spending limit for each one. We will also use buttons to quickly add expenses to our control. Let's get started. To create a new page, click on the plus new page button in the sidebar. Give a name to your new page, like Personal Finance Control, and click on Empty Page. You can add an icon and a cover to the page to customize it. Let's start by creating a database for categories. Click on the plus and choose Table View. Choose a new database and rename it to Category. Now change the name property to Category by clicking on it. Next, click on the Tags property and then on Edit property. Change the name of the property and the type to Selection. This property will indicate whether the category is a fixed or variable expense. Click on the plus to add these options. Click on New Property to add a property for the spending limit of this category. It will be of the number type. Click on Number Format and choose $. The next step is to register the categories. Fill in the properties in the table and change the icon. Click on the 6 dots next to the table item and then Icon. Then choose an emoji or icon that represents the category. To add more categories, click on New. Let's make a gallery view. Click on the plus and select the gallery layout. For card view, pick None. For card size, pick Small. Click on Done at the end. In Properties, click on the icon next to the limit and type properties to make them visible on the gallery card. Now let's create a database to record your expenses. Within your page, click on the plus button and choose Table View from the list of options. Choose New Database and give a name to your table, such as My Expenses. Change the name property to Description. Remove the Tags property by clicking on it and then on Delete property. Now let's add some properties to the table. Click on the plus button and choose the Date type. In Date format, choose the option Month, Day, Year. For the expense value, add a property of the number type and change the number format to $. The next step is to include a property for the type of payment. It will be of the selection type. For the options, click on the plus and include options such as credit and cash. Finally, we will include a property of the relation type. It will indicate the expense category, and for this, we will choose the category database that we created earlier. Click on Show in Category and then on Add Relation. To include your expenses, fill in the date, value, payment method, and category properties. Do this for all your expenses by clicking on the New button at the bottom of the table. We will create separate views for the current month's expenses and the expenses for the next month. I will duplicate the first view by clicking on its name and then on Duplicate. I will change the name to This Month. In Filter, I will choose the Date property and then I will choose This Month. Thus, only the expenses made this month are displayed. Notion updates the filter automatically in the following months. At the bottom of the table, I will click on Calculate in the Value column, and then I will choose the Sum option. This way, we can see the total spent in the current month. I'm going to make the view for next month's bills. I will duplicate this month's view and change the name to Next Month. In the filter, I will change it to Next Month. Thus, I can see all the expenses for the following month and the total at the end of the list. To sort expenses by category, duplicate the initial visualization by clicking on its name followed by Duplicate. I want to group by category and also show the spending limit. I will create a formula type property called Category Limit. I will click on Edit, and the first thing I will do is check if the category property is filled. For the test, I will use the if function, and the condition will be category empty. The empty function returns false if the property is filled. That's why I will compare it with false would. If the category is filled, I will access the category using the function at 0, then I will choose the category property. The next step is to show the category limit. I will use the plus operator to join the two texts and add a separator between them. To show the spending limit, I will use the same idea that we used for the category name, and if the expense does not have a category, I will leave it blank. Then I will click Done. Now I'll click on the three dots and then select Group. In the Group By section, I'll choose the Category Limit property. At the end of the table, click on Calculate in the Value column, then select Sum. This will allow us to view the total amount spent by category and compare the expenses with the limit set for each one. The last step is to facilitate the entry of expenses. I will create buttons for the most frequent expenses. I will type button followed by enter. The first button will be for market expenses. I will change the name and the icon. Next, I will click on Add a Step and then on Add Pages to. In Select Database, I will choose the database My Expenses. I will click on Edit Another Property and choose Category. In the field next to it, I will choose the Supermarket category. After doing this, I will edit another property and choose Date. In the field next to it, I will choose the Now. Now I will click on Add Another Step and then on Open Page. In Select Page, I will choose New Page Added. This way I can fill in the other properties of the expense. Finally, I will click on Done. To add a grocery expense, I will click on the Supermarket button and write the description. To make things easier, I will place the properties to be filled in at the beginning of the page. Now, just fill in the properties of value and payment method. To make buttons for other categories, click on the 6 dots near the button and click on Duplicate. Change the button's name and icon and also the expense category. Repeat this for each button you create. To put the buttons side by side on the same line, we will use columns. Type /3 columns and drag the buttons to each column. Adjust their size if needed. Now you have an efficient way to control your expenses in Notion. I hope this video has been useful and that it helps you keep your finances in order. See you next time.